somewhere around 60, most of us are starting to do the math in our heads, probably without even meaning to. How many more summers do I have? How many do I have left to do the things that I keep saying I'll do eventually? 20, 25, if we're lucky. That's not a lot of trips, and it's definitely not enough summers. But that's the reality. And, if that math has been running quietly in the back of your mind, stick with me because I want to talk about what to do with it or what I'm doing with it, because that comes around quite often. And, nobody tells us, warns us how quickly life starts to pass in our 60s. We spend our 20s and 30s building a career, a family, a home, a name for ourselves. And then we spend our 40s and 50s holding it all together, managing a lot of change, children graduating, moving on, menopause, and in some ways, just, holding it all together. Then, somewhere around our 60s, the ground shifts and the kids are grown, the career is winding down, or maybe you've already retired, it's already behind you. And suddenly there's space, real space, where there used to be, let's just say, beautiful chaos. And in that space, a question shows up. I think that's hard to ignore. And if not now, when? And I'll tell you, it hits hard sometimes. And, here's the honest truth about why this feeling gets so loud, I think, right now. And, for the first time, we can actually see the finish line, not because we're near the end, but because I think we have a clear enough view of our own lives to measure, it. And I mean, if y'all are my age, y'all know how fast 40 years went. And so, how fast are the next 20 going to go? And, that's not morbid. That's not morbid. I'm not trying to be morbid, but I think that's clarity. And clarity can be uncomfortable. And, because it strips away, the excuse of later, I'll get to that, I'll plan it. And, I'm slowly realizing, the ache isn't really a warning that something's wrong with me. I think it's my life that's quietly telling me that it's ready. And, so I'm not falling apart. I feel like I'm waking up. And, all that being said, I haven't fully figured this out. I mean, that little flicker of panic, that time is going by so fast feeling, it shows up. It still shows up. It showed up the other day. Sometimes it shows up in the mornings when I'm sitting in traffic, stuck in traffic on my way to work. It gets really loud right about that time. And, but I'm learning, that one day at a time, I just need to lean into it. Don't run from it. Just embrace it. I don't have to have it all figured out. And, I just need to let today be the day, that I take one small step toward the life that I've been dreaming about. And, so that ache that you feel, that's not time running out. That's time finally showing up. And it's tapping you on the shoulder and it's asking if you're ready. And you are. So if this hits home, I'd love to hear any comments that you have. Post them down below. If you give me a thumbs up or a like to help me out, I'd really appreciate it. And I hope you're enjoying the rest of your day. Beautiful day.